prioritize what matters. They don't wait until they have time to work on their goals. They make time. Even if it's just 30 minutes a day, consistent action adds up over time. Small steps taken consistently lead to massive results. Another trap people fall into is comparing themselves to others. They look at people who are already successful and feel discouraged because they're not at the same level. But what they don't see is the years of hard work, struggle, and perseverance that went into that success. Everyone starts somewhere. No one is an expert on day one. The only way to get better is to start. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to begin. The first step is always the hardest, but once you take it, the next step becomes easier. Some people think they need a detailed plan before they take action. Planning is important, but too much planning can become an excuse for not starting. The truth is, no plan survives first contact with reality. Things will change. You will face obstacles you didn't expect. You will have to adjust and adapt as you go. But none of that matters if you never take the first step. Action leads to progress, and progress leads to results. The more you do, the more you learn, and the more confident you become in your ability to figure things out along the way. People who take action understand that failure is not a reason to quit, but a reason to improve. Every mistake is a lesson. Every setback is an opportunity to grow. If you adopt this mindset, nothing can stop you. You will keep moving forward, learning, and improving until you reach your goals. But none of this happens if you stay stuck in hesitation. The moment you decide to stop waiting and start doing, everything changes. Pain is a powerful teacher. Nobody likes to go through it, but it's often the one thing that forces us to grow. When everything is comfortable, when life is easy, there's no real reason to change. But when you're hurt, when you've been knocked down, when you've lost something or someone you cared about, that's when you have to make a choice. You can either let pain break you, or you can use it to build something stronger. The most successful, the most resilient people in the world aren't the ones who have never suffered. They're the ones who turn their pain into power. The reality is, pain is unavoidable. Everyone faces setbacks, disappointments, and struggles. No matter who you are, no matter where you come from, life will test you. It will put obstacles in your way that seem impossible to overcome. It will take things from you that you thought you couldn't live without. It will push you to your limits and force you to confront parts of yourself you never wanted to face. But pain in itself isn't the problem. It's how you respond to it that makes the difference. Some people allow pain to destroy them. They give up. They stop trying. They let bitterness take over. They replay the same hurt over and over in their minds until it defines them. They believe the pain they've been through is proof that they can't succeed, that life is unfair, that they'll never be happy. But others take that same pain and use it as fuel. They refuse to let it define them. They take every setback as a lesson, every disappointment as motivation. They let pain shape them, not as victims, but as warriors. Pain has the ability to reveal things about you that you never would have seen otherwise. It shows you what you're capable of surviving. It strips away illusions and forces you to see what really matters. It makes you stronger, wiser, and more aware of your own resilience. The people who have been through the most often have the deepest understanding of themselves. They know their limits because they've been pushed beyond them. They know their strength because they've had to fight to rebuild themselves. Pain can make you bitter, or it can make you better. The choice is yours. One of the biggest lessons pain teaches is that nothing is permanent. When you're going through something difficult, it feels like it will last forever. It feels like you'll never get past it, like the weight of it will never lift. But time proves otherwise. Think about all the struggles you've already survived. At the time, they felt overwhelming, but you made it through. And each time you came out stronger than before. That's because pain is temporary. It might last for days, weeks, even years, but it will eventually pass. What remains is the person you become because of it. Pain also forces you to grow. When life is easy, you have no reason to push yourself, no reason to dig deeper or discover new strengths. But when you're struggling, you have no choice. You have to adapt. You have to find ways to keep going, to heal, to move forward. Growth doesn't happen in comfort. It happens when you're tested, when you're uncomfortable, when you have to fight for a better version of yourself. If you look at the people who have achieved great things, they all have one thing in common. They have been through something that could have destroyed them, but they refused to let it. Instead, they used it to push themselves to new levels. Pain has a way of bringing clarity. It strips away distractions, illusions, and excuses. When you're hurting, you see what really matters. You realize who is truly there for you. You discover strengths you didn't know you had. You stop tolerating things that no longer serve you. It forces you to reevaluate your priorities and redefine what you want out of life. Some of the biggest breakthroughs in life come after the hardest moments. When you've hit rock bottom, the only direction left to go is up. One of the greatest things pain teaches is empathy. When you've been through struggles, you understand others in a way that people who have never suffered cannot. It gives you a deeper level of compassion, a greater ability to connect with others who are hurting. It allows you to inspire, to lift others up, to be a source of strength for someone else. Your pain isn't just for you. It can be used to help others who are going through the same thing. Pain is not something to be feared. It's not something to run from or avoid. It's something to learn from, to grow from, to use as fuel to become better. The pain you've been through does not define you, but how you respond to it does. Every challenge, every heartbreak, every loss is an opportunity to build a stronger, wiser, more resilient version of yourself. You don't get to choose whether or not you experience pain, but you do get to choose what you do with it. Your mind is the most powerful tool you have, but it can also be the thing that holds you back the most. The way you think determines everything. How you see yourself, how you handle challenges, how you react to failure, and ultimately what you achieve in life. Most people don't realize that they are constantly programming their own minds, whether they are aware of it or not. Every thought you repeat, every belief you hold on to, every story you tell yourself about who you are and what you can do is shaping your reality. If you keep telling yourself you're not good enough, not smart enough, not lucky enough, then your mind will find ways to make those beliefs true. If you believe that success is for other people but not for you, then you will unconsciously sabotage your own progress every time you get close to something great. The mind has a way of reinforcing whatever it is trained to believe. If you have spent years telling yourself you can't do something, then you have built a habit of self-doubt that is hard to break. But just like negative beliefs can shape your reality, positive ones can do the same. The key is understanding that you have the power to rewire your mind, to train it to work for you instead of against you. It starts with awareness. Paying attention to the thoughts that run through your mind on a daily basis. If you constantly hear yourself saying, I can't, it's too hard, or I'll never make it, then you need to stop and challenge those thoughts. Where did they come from? Are they really true? Most of the time, those thoughts are nothing more than old programming. Things you picked up from other people, from past failures, from fear. They are not facts. Once you recognize the negative thoughts, you have to replace them. You can't just stop thinking negatively. You have to actively train yourself to think differently. That means feeding your mind with better input, reading books that inspire you, listening to people who have overcome struggles and found success, surrounding yourself with those who uplift you and push you to see your potential. It means making a habit of speaking positivity into your life even when you don't fully believe it yet. Telling yourself, I am capable, I am worthy, I can figure this out. At first it might feel fake, like you're just saying words, but the more you repeat it, the more your mind starts to accept it as truth. The brain is wired to adapt. Whatever you feed it regularly becomes your reality. Your environment plays a big role in shaping your mindset. If you spend all your time around negativity, gossip, complaining, and doubt, then that energy is going to seep into your thoughts. But if you choose to place yourself in an environment that challenges you to grow, that encourages you to think bigger, that exposes you to new ideas, then your mind will start expanding in ways you never thought possible. Sometimes the biggest change you can make is simply deciding to limit your exposure to negativity, whether it's people, social media, or even your own bad habits. Protecting your mindset is just as important as protecting your body. Another important part of training your mind is learning to control your focus. What you focus on expands. If you spend all your time thinking about what's wrong, what you lack, what didn't work, then that's all you'll see. But if you train yourself to focus on possibilities, on solutions, on progress, then you start attracting more of those things into your life. Gratitude is one of the simplest and most powerful ways to shift your focus. When you start your day by thinking about what you're grateful for instead of what's wrong, your entire mindset changes. You stop seeing life as something that is happening to you and start seeing it as something you have control over. Fear is one of the biggest mental barriers that holds people back, and most of the time, the fear isn't even real. It's just a story the mind has created. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. These are nothing more than thoughts, and thoughts can be changed. The way to overcome fear is by doing the thing you're afraid of. The more you do it, the more your mind realizes that the fear was never real to begin with. Confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you build through action. Every time you push past fear, your mind learns that you are stronger than you thought. Your mind is either working for you or against you, and the choice is yours. You can train it to focus on problems, limitations, and doubts, or you can train it to focus on growth, possibilities, and solutions. You are not a victim of your thoughts. You are the one in control. The moment you decide to take charge of your mindset, everything in your life starts to shift. The way you see yourself changes, the way you approach challenges changes, and most importantly, the way you show up for your dreams changes.